Today we're going to talk about the corn. For those who know, or those Sabbath keepers watching the video, they know that the corn is the infamous video that Protestants and Christians use to say, we don't have to keep Sunday because Jesus Christ was working on the Sunday. He was plucking the corn. You false Sabbath keepers, return back to God. You false Christians. You don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're saying. You have left God a long time ago. You're all going to die and go to hell, you Sabbath keepers. This is what they tell us. I mean, that's a good example of love, right? Sunday worshipers. Let's look at this corn thing. I'll give you a little thing. What happened was that Jesus, in the book of Matthew 12, allowed his disciples to pluck corn. And they're saying that it was unlawful, that he was allowing them to break the Sabbath because the Sabbath no longer matters. Let's read verse 1. And at the time Jesus went on the Sabbath day through the corn, and the disciples were hungry and began to pluck ears of corn to eat. So what do we see? We see that they were hungry, and Jesus allowed them to pluck the corn on the Sabbath day. But when the Pharisees saw it, they said unto him, Behold, disciples do which is not lawful to do on the Sabbath day. So Jesus said, go ahead and pluck the corn. But the Pharisees were like, that's unlawful. But the Christians of today were like, that's unlawful. But the Protestants of today was, that's unlawful. Why am I saying that? Because the Christians and the Protestants are saying the same thing that the Pharisees said. The same Pharisees that killed Jesus. They're saying, no, that's unlawful. We don't longer have to keep it because that's unlawful, because Jesus allowed it. Pharisee, Protestant, and Christians. Look what Jesus said. But Jesus says, defending that they were not breaking the Sabbath, because Jesus could have just said, nah, they don't have to keep it anyway, Pharisees. Let them pluck all they want. He says, did you not read what David did when he was hungry? When he entered into the house of God and did eat the showbread, which was unlawful for him to eat, neither for them to go in with him, for they were only priests allowed in the temple. Have you not read in the law how the Sabbath days the priests enter the temple and profane the Sabbath and are blameless? I say unto you, one in this place is greater than the temple. It is lawful to do good on the Sabbath. Rewind. It is lawful to do good on the Sabbath. Listen, Protestants, Christians, it is lawful to do good on the Sabbath. So we're reading here that the Christians are saying we don't have to keep Sabbath because Jesus allowed them to work on the Sabbath. And Jesus is saying, do you not know what David did? Do you not know that the priests profaned the temple? What happened with David? David was doing the work of the Lord all day long. He was hungry and the Sabbath was drawing on. And God allowed him to eat it because of the work of the Lord. David forgot to cook because he was working for the Lord. That's why Jesus says, but if you had known this meaning, I will have mercy and not sacrifice, and I would not condemn the guiltless. That's verse 7. Jesus had mercy on them because they were doing what? They were working for the Lord. Just like David was working for the Lord. And he said, go ahead, pluck. I'm going to let you pluck because you're doing my work. I would have mercy and not sacrifice. Mercy and not sacrifice. Mercy, Christians, Pharisees, and not sacrifice. It's amazing how much of the Christian world resembles and the Protestant world resembles the Pharisees. It's time to wake up. Would you kill Christ if he came back? You have killed Christ because you killed his message, the Sabbath. What happens now that you heard this message? You have to prepare. There is no more time. Jesus Christ is soon to return. And when he returns, he's coming to pick up his children. And he's going to destroy everyone else. And I'm telling you this because this is the final warning. Just like Noah preached, get into the ark. This is the preaching of get into the ark once again. Jesus Christ is soon to return. Give your heart to him every day and live according to his word.